Hey everyone, what's going on? So on November 28th, we got the story about Donald Trump making a Pocahontas joke while he was honoring these Navajo code talkers. And all throughout Donald Trump's, last year before he was elected, there was all kinds of Native American symbolism that was going on. I even back in July of 2016 was talking about how I thought the Cleveland Indians were a good choice for the World Series because there was so much Native American symbolism going on. We had the death of one of the Native Americans that was in the movie Dances with Wolves, thinking about Kevin Costner, right? And then we had the death of W.P. Kinsella, the guy who wrote the book that inspired Field of Dreams with uh, Kevin Costner, and a bunch of other stuff. Then we started getting the Dakota Access Pipeline stuff, and then the Indians went into the World Series. And that was even the World Series even ended on the 127th anniversary of North Dakota being a state. And what I'm going to talk about in this video is Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. So the World Series came to an end on the 127th anniversary of North Dakota being a state. And North Dakota in Gematria equals 127. And just before the end of the World Series, we got a story about 127 people being arrested at the Dakota Access Pipeline protest. So it was all synced up, and I talked about this number being synced up to a ton of other stuff with Michael Jordan, and he played for the Birmingham Barons when Terry Francona, the coach of the Cleveland Indians, was the coach for the team, and a bunch of other stuff. So a whole bunch of stuff synced up to Native American stuff, and then of course Donald Trump in Gematria. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about right here, I'll leave some links in the description. But Gematria is the practice of coding numbers into words, and it is literally used every single day at our mainstream media. It's all scripted this way. It's synced up to our sports leagues a lot of times, and our sports leagues are absolutely scripted. Our history is scripted this way. They use this stuff in films. But Donald Trump in Gematria equals 48, just like the word wall. Wall equals 48. He won the election on the anniversary of the Berlin Wall coming down. And also, the Cleveland Indians hadn't won a World Series since the year 1948. And last year, we had the closest supermoon since the year 1948 that came on Prince Charles's birthday. And Prince Charles was even born in the year 48. And if you go back to the English Civil War, where the Charleses were the kings after King James, it, King Charles the First died at the age of 48, and Charles the Second in Gematria equals 48. Lots of other stuff going on. Israel declared its independence in the year 48. Donald Trump absolutely loves Israel. And anyway, back to the Native American stuff. I made a video about the Simpsons episode that has Lisa Simpson as the president, and she's the woman president, but she says in that episode that she has to catch up because President Trump ruined everything, right? So she was the woman president after Donald Trump. And in that episode, they go to the Native American casino, and Bart has this vision because he's looking at this fire, right? So it connected to the Native American stuff that Donald Trump was synced up to, and then Donald Trump ends up becoming the president. So now we're getting this story about Donald Trump calling Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas, and that's a racist comment, while he's honoring these Navajo code talkers. And right away in Gematria, if you write out Navajo, Navajo equals 63. Just like if you write out Native American, let's show you really quick. Navajo 63, Native American 63 in Gematria. June 3rd, 6/3, is even the 154th day of the year. If you write out Native Americans, it equals 154. So just interesting. But also, if you write out Senator Warren, that equals 63 at Gematria. So Navajo equals 63, Native Americans equals 63, Senator Warren equals 63, racist comment equals 63, Pocahontas joke equals 63. All coded by the same system. That's why we got this story about Donald Trump making a Pocahontas joke with honoring the Navajos, right? It's all coded to this number 63. And it's interesting, too, the story came on the same day that we got the Prince Harry getting engaged to Meghan Markle. Prince Harry equals 63. Meghan Markle equals 63 in Gematria. Prince Harry even equals 135, which is interesting because Native American equals 135. So, I talk a lot about how these media stories are all interrelated a lot of times. Anyway, I talk a lot about how there's these odd things that happen in my own life, which is coined synchronicity as well. And if you learn what I'm talking about and you apply it for yourself, I'm telling you, even before I knew about this, there was weird things that were happening and the synchronicity that I was noticing. But ever since learning gematria, it's definitely ramped up, such as when you'll be talking about something and then all of a sudden the TV will be talking about the same thing, or you'll be reading a word. I'll be reading this blog post and I'll see the word burns, and a guy on some random TV show will say the word burns. And that's what happened when I was looking at this post or whatever. So I typed in Indians, right, because it was something significant to Donald Trump, and I had started this blog post, and I typed in Indians, and right as I typed in Indians, the TV was The Simpsons were on, because that's what my girlfriend always watches. I don't even pay attention to it most of the time, it's just so random. But I typed in the word Indians on the Gematrinator, and right as I typed the word Indians, Mr. Burns said Indians on The Simpsons. And think about that in regards to The Simpsons predicting Donald Trump to be the president as well. It's pretty interesting. And whatever, I looked it up. It was season 2, episode 22, called Blood Feud. And Blood Feud equals 84. And just like Mr. Burns equals 84, Simpson equals 84. Everything about O.J. Simpson was all about 84 too. O.J. Simpson was released 84 days after his birthday, and his real name, Orenthal, whatever it is, something Simpson, that equals 84, just like Simpson. Everything about him is coded to the number 84, so interesting. Mr. Burns equals 84, Blood Feud 84. Indian also equals 33, like Mr. Burns. He's the guy who said Indian. I also pointed out in regards to the royal family that Meghan Markle is the first American to marry into the royal family since Wallace Simpson, right? Wallace Simpson. Native Americans in Jewish gematria equals 1,114, which that is the day that Prince Charles was born, 11/14. I talked about this a whole lot back in around the Super Bowl last year. I don't even remember it all. I'm not going to go back and look it up. But I mean, I might, but I'm not going to talk about it in this video. But just go back and check out a bunch of videos I had after the Super Bowl, or just before the Super Bowl. I was talking a whole lot about this, and it was super connected to The Simpsons. I think it was even something to do season 11, episode 14 of Family Guy was all about something to do with a falconer and Xerxes the Falcon or something like that, right? And then we had the Falcons at the Super Bowl. And The Simpsons were also showing me season 10, episode 12, which was the only episode with Dan Marino. And my uncle, who had died on January 14th, had randomly given me this Dan Marino jersey and a whole bunch of stuff with it. But the only episode Dan Marino was in of The Simpsons was the episode that aired the day of Super Bowl 33 when the Falcons lost in the Super Bowl. And then we had the Falcons in the Super Bowl, you know? How interesting. That episode also aired the same day as the very first ever Family Guy to air on January 31st of I can't remember the year what it was, but it was the year Super Bowl 33 was the year that the first ever Family Guy aired, and it opens up with a skit about the Brady Bunch, right? Tom Brady, Brady Bunch. He's synced up to the Brady Bunch. Last year we had the death of the mom on the Brady Bunch. Then Tom Brady goes on to win the Super Bowl. So what I'm talking about, it really is truly significant. If you pay enough attention and you understand how this works, there are things that are connected in your own life that are connected to these media stories. And if you understand it enough, you can figure out what is to come. What is planned for these future events in the media and the sports. It's all interrelated. So in regards to Prince Harry and whatnot, this came on the same day as this Navajo story with Donald Trump. And this thing with the Simpsons happened, so I thought I would look up and see if Prince Harry was on any episode of The Simpsons. And he's not actually in any episode, but they do mention him. And there's one where it's the 317th episode, but basically they show him on the newspaper with Bart Simpson partying too much or whatever. And then right after that, they make a King Ralph joke, which is interesting because I've been talking about King Ralph for about a year now and some Ralph theme. And I even mentioned how I thought Ralphie May would die within the next year. Then Ralphie May died in October of 2017, But the 317th episode is where they mentioned Prince Harry. And that's interesting because a while back there was some weird stuff with 317 and The Simpsons that I documented with this one about legalized gambling, and they say Freemasons run the country or whatever, and they said that right as I was writing the word Freemasons on my blog up here. I typed the word Freemasons, and right as I said that, The Simpsons said Freemasons run the country. And that equaled 317 in Gematria. If you take the title of the episode and you write that out, it equals 317. Scottish Rite Freemasonry equals 317. So I don't know. There's something super connected to this 317 and something I'm supposed to see with it in regards to The Simpsons. I also pointed out then that Elizabeth Ann Warren equals 88, just like Trump equals 88. Talked a lot about the number 88 over all year, whatever. The stock market crash, it's the 88th anniversary of the stock market crash this year. All kinds of stuff going on with it. Herbert Hoover, H is the eighth letter, a lot like 88, was the president when the stock market crash happened. He's also the president who signed into Congress the national anthem being the Star Spangled Banner. And he has the same gematria as Donald John Trump, or Donald Trump. We'll type it out really quick. Donald Trump equals 159. Herbert Hoover equals 159. And even Francis Key, the guy who wrote the national anthem, equals 159. So there's a bunch of 88 stuff with Trump. But in regards to the Native American stuff, last year I was talking about how the Mormons were connected to the Native American stuff. Mormon equals 88. The Book of Mormon equals 185, just like Donald John Trump. Just like stock market crash, if you write that out, that equals 185 as well. But the reason it's so significant, it was connected. I was talking about how there's a Native American theme connected to the area that I live. And back in 1867, the town that I live in killed the last keeper of the sacred pole of the Omaha Indians. And they murdered him at the bar or something in the card fight. And the whole tribe was going to come and wipe out the whole town. But the Freemasons dressed up in their Freemason garb, and they went outside, and the Omaha people believed what they said, that the people had fled the town, and they didn't kill everyone in the town because of out of some odd way, that's what this old article says, some odd way, the Omaha people understood Freemasonic symbols and they believed them, right? So the Freemasons saved the town that I live in right now of like 1,000 people. And the one of the chiefs, he was the one that he brought the Mormons to the Omaha area because he thought he would get protection from the Sioux. And so that's how the Mormon Trail began and all this. So Mormon equals 88, but if you look up the history of like what a lot of Mormon believed, they believe that, the ancient Israelites came here years and years ago, and they got basically split up into two groups, the Nephites and the Lamanites, or how, maybe I'm not pronouncing it right, but they got split up, and the Lamanites were the darker skinned one, and they went away to like paganism kind of, and the Nephites were the ones who were all about Jesus and whatever. So interesting that the Lamanites are the dark-skinned ones because they equal 59 in Gematria, just like Negro, just like slave. That's why Black History Month ends on the 59th day of the year. That's why the Civil War supposedly came to an end on May 9th, 5/9. Motown Records came out in 59. All kinds of stuff in regards to 59, you know, stamped negatively on black people. And, these were the dark-skinned Native Americans. So Native Americans actually, according to the Mormons, were the ancient Israelites and whatever else. So it all ties back into this Native American theme that I'm talking about. Plus, I'm pretty sure that's why Mike Pence is from Indiana, right? The land of the Indian. Mike Pence. And just thinking about Donald Trump and all the crude comments and everything else, Pocahontas, doesn't remind you of Pocahontas, right? Pocahontas, Pocahontas. That's probably what they were really trying to get at. Some joke in regards to, some sexual allegations because that's all the media is. But anyway, I'm just going to leave the video there. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. I'm telling you, if you pay enough attention, these things are oddly connected to things in your own life, and these media stories, I'm telling you, these weird things happen for a reason, and you're supposed to look into them. When you look into it, it gives you clues. I wish I could figure it all out, but that's why I keep making these videos. That's why I keep making these blog posts. So eventually I can, master this, whatever is truly going on in the world. And hopefully other people can, help along the way, and hopefully I can help them master it as well. So have a good one. Peace.